Let's see how BricsCAD users can work with ACC. Specifically, easily use the ACC Desktop Connector to work with Autodesk Docs. This way, it's also easier for them to collaborate on a project that uses ACC. So what's required here? Of course, you need access to Autodesk Docs and access to the project itself, where you either created it or you were invited to be part of the project. In this particular demonstration, we'll see how we can download the connector. We'll sync projects in the Windows Explorer, add a subfolder. We'll see how we can do checking in, checking out of the files, or locking the files. We'll see how we can use BricsCAD to work on the drawings. And of course, we'll upload the drawings back after they're edited. And lastly, viewing the files on ACC. Download the desktop connector directly on the Autodesk website and then install it. And once you've done that, you'll see Autodesk Docs will be accessible in your Windows Explorer. And on your taskbar, you can also access the connector. We can select the projects here. Let's go into that. And then we can select projects here. Going into My Selections, we see that the list corresponds to the list of projects we now have in Windows Explorer. So what happens when someone invites you to another project? Here I received an email invite where my colleague Samuel invited me to project ALKB26. So I can join the project, and this brings me to the Autodesk login. I'm going to enter all my credentials there, and once I'm logged in, I should be able to access the project folder. So let's enter the information here, and we're going to be brought into the project folder on the cloud. At the same time, here I can view the list of projects that I have access to. So now how to sync this new project with our Windows Explorer? I can go back to the connector on my desktop and make sure the project is selected under All Projects. Make sure it's ticked over here, and then save that. It will automatically sync, and I can immediately see the new project listed on my Drawings Explorer portion. So how do we collaborate between BricsCAD and Autodesk Docs through the ACC Desktop Connector? Let's start with BricsCAD and say I have a drawing here, a floor layout, and let's save that in our project folder. In this case, I'll use Test Project APAC. Let me create a new subfolder under that, and let's call that floor plans. And we'll save this file. I had 3 drawings opened earlier, which had all the 3 floor levels of this particular building. So I have 2 more files to save here. I'll do the same and save both in the same subfolder. You can, of course, just drag and drop them in. Let's do the last one here. And after this, we'll compare how the original folder on my desktop was, where I had these files saved originally, to the folder where we had now saved it under ACC. So on the top portion here is the original folder on desktop. On the bottom is the folder that's connected to ACC. So you'll see immediately that the lock icons are there. We currently have these drawings open, so they're locked. And if, let's say, we close these drawings, then we'll see that the lock icons are gone. Maybe you want to work on it. So we can just drag and drop that into BricsCAD. So that's opened. And you'll see immediately the lock icon appeared. So that shows us the link with BricsCAD is good. And if I want to work on this file, we can do that. Let's say I want to shift this electrical block over to this corner, and we can save this file. And let's just check that folder again. So currently this file has the lock icon since we still have it opened, but when we close it, the lock icon will be gone. And let's open the revised drawing. So this is the new drawing now, which is basically a version 2. So we have these drawings that we've worked on BricsCAD. And now going into ACC, we can see an activity log. Let's open the drawing we revised. And it opens in a viewer. And here we'll see all the data coming in. So that's processing, we'll wait for that. And once that's opened, we can see the layers. We can zoom into the portion that we changed. So that's this corner. So this is basically version 2 of our drawing. And we can show the properties of this block that we're looking at. We can also isolate it, hide it, etc. But these are currently the information that's attached to this block. If you needed to, you can turn layers on and off and so on. Any views, 3D model, and sheets will come in accordingly as well. These are the views that are tagged to this particular file. We didn't really set up anything yet at this point, but those were just default ones that came in. We have version 2 of the file, but we can also go to version 1, which is the one that we didn't change the electrical block yet. This will be shown as not current, still locked by myself. You'll see your name there if you're the one who locked it. We can zoom in and confirm that this is the original placement of that electrical block. And you can always keep on toggling back and forth to whichever version that you prefer to view inside the ACC viewer.
If you need to collaborate on a common data environment, BricsCAD can easily save into tools like Autodesk Construction Cloud. Here, we can go and do a save as, and because we have Autodesk Docs with the Desktop Connector enabled, we can save directly via Explorer into our preferred folder environment, and we can read it inside of Autodesk Construction Cloud. Here we have a file that's been processed. We have 2D and 3D views available. If we look at the 2D information, everything comes through with the layers. So we can turn on and off information as needed and zoom in and even select information and look at the properties. So with BricsCAD, it will play inside of a common data environment. Simply just save it via the desktop connector, and you'll have access to both 2D and 3D information for viewing and collaborating with others. And you'll see here how easy it is to navigate around a lot of detailed information of a tin and an ISC file that has been brought into the CD as well.